Hello, my name is Acidical Portal, and welcome to my next tutorial. Today I will be teaching you how to use or kind of make doors, I guess, but basically it will be using the create this thing right here. These are a bunch of all sorts of very useful things, but I'll only be going through these for only be going through a few of these just for a couple of minutes. This video is not going to be that long, but rope is a type of thing that holds parts together, and basically what it does is it's like a literal rope that makes things like swing around, does things like that. So it's pretty useful if you're trying to make some sort of parkour or like an obstacle course and it's swingy and you want people to fall off of it and you want it to be very challenging. So you can't just make a rope. Like, that's not how it actually works. So I'm going to insert a part, and I'm going to put this into the air, and I'll just show you a nice example of how this comes to play. So I'm going to anchor this part so it doesn't fall on the ground. And I'm going to duplicate this part and unanchor this one, because when it's unanchored, it's able to fall to the ground. So basically, if we go to the create, if we click on rope, as you can see, there's this thing because it's saying, okay, do you want this to be attached here? So let's just left click, and now we got this kind of like rope, this red rope thing, and I'm gonna put it right here, make sure that's unanchored, and I'm gonna run this. So what will happen is this should swing around. Yeah, and it basically just does something like that. So if I move it like that, if I did that, it would literally, yeah, it would freak out like that. Very useful if you want like some sort of swingy obstacle course. We could up the stakes by doing this. You could have as many ropes as you want. Just go to the part and then the children of the part to edit the thickness. We can make it 5 if we want. And then that's a bit big, but that's what you can do with it. And we can change the color of it, you know. I'll make it yellow. So if we run this, now it's like, it's a lot more level than balanced, but it's maybe that's a little too thick, but these are very flexible, and they're basically like cords kind of, and they work in any way that you can put them as long as you use them right. And if you don't want a part or something, you can also delete the rope. Okay, so a few things that I want to go over is attachments. So attachments are they're numbered. You could have different names for the attachments. So this one's called attachment 1, and this is attachment 0. So basically what an attachment is things like the rope. You can't actually put them together like actual parts or anything. So basically how an attachment works is you have to, it's what I just did, and it automatically puts that in the thing. So the rope is an attachment of the part, if that makes sense. So if I just deleted this and I deleted that, and if I wanted to put another one in here, it'll automatically put the attachments because they're just they're kind of connectors of that. All right, so that's the first thing that we've gone over. The second thing that I wanted to go over was I wanted to go over hinges. So hinges you could actually make doors out of if you wanted. They're not like super useful. It's not the best way to make a door, but you still can if you want to. But I'm just gonna use one of my plugins. It's good to have you know, a character into reference scale, but so this is gonna be the door frame, and this is where our hinge is going to go. So you'll see how this will turn out in a minute. A very important thing is that we do not want the you'll see, I won't explain quite yet. This is very, very tall, but very wide too, but I think it'll work out. Alright, so basically how this is going to work is, alright, the hinge will go up here. Oh, silly me, I haven't even inserted the other part that goes underneath it. So you don't want them touching like this, because if they're touching, then basically what will happen is it will cause friction against the door, and then it will be jammed, and then you won't be able to open the door. And you don't want it to touch the ground all the way either. So so that's how it works out. So I'm gonna go to here, and then I'm going to put one right here, and you see these little yellow parts, and then they disappear when you click off of them, because when they're not selected, it kind of looks weird when they're there, so that's why. Alright, so we can change the color of this just to give it some, you know, style maybe. And maybe we'll make this a little, I want to make sure this actually works out. So anchor this, anchor all of this, and make sure that the part that we want the hinge to go into is not anchored. So I'm going to play right here, and this will work out pretty cool. Yes, sirree. All right. Oh, there it is. See, it kind of opens. It's hard to open since I'm in a different view. Also, it's hard to open because I am in R15. If we change that and probably change the size, maybe for the best of it, I'll remove these other parts, but this is just a fine example of things that you can do. Oh, and to change your avatar anyways, you go to here and we just click R6, and it'll automatically change your character to the R6, and now my character has 6 limbs. And there we go. We made ourselves a door, and this dummy's in the way, so let's just get him out of the way. And that's kind of a door that you can mess around with, I guess. I'll put this over here just to make sure that it still works. Very, very swingy door, but this is where attachments are going to come into play. So I'm going to add a door hinge. Not that that really does much, but we don't want it anchored, but we still want the attachment on. So here is my thing. So alright, yes, we don't have the, alright, let's do this. there we go. It still opens, and voila. We got ourselves a door. It's pretty cool. You can mess around with it. You could add sorts of stuff as long as attachment or weld is on. And weld is the last thing I want to go over. So weld basically is what Doomspire Brick Battle uses. So the parts in Doomspire are all connected like Legos, but they can still break apart with enough force. So the thing how that works is make sure we don't want this anchored, and all these parts should have weld in them. Sometimes Roblox just automatically puts them in it. That's a new feature that the new ROBLOX Studio for 2020 has done. But I'm going to go to free models and search for a time bomb. So I'm going to put this into my inventory and show you how this works out. So, okay. Alright, so these parts aren't going to fall over, but they're still connected, they're still strong with each other. This might fall off because, well, actually, no, it's not going to fall off, and it's not anchored because it has the weld. But anyways, how this works is, if I put bomb here, it should explode, and then, yeah, these pieces will break everywhere, and they'll fly everywhere. So, that was the last example that I went over. Yeah, that pretty much sums up this whole video. Now you'll have a good understanding of how these works. I'll go into these in future videos. And subscribe if you enjoyed this, and give a like, and if you have questions about anything on ROBLOX Studio, just ask, and I'll be bound to respond to your comment, and I will reply. Oh, and I am sorry I have not uploaded in like 2 weeks. This week in my personal life has been pretty crazy, and I've ran out of I ran out of ideas for videos, so I just had to come up with some stuff, and I hope you guys can forgive me, but I'm sure a majority of you are understanding. So, alright, I'll see you guys around. Alright, bye.